right, we got Kyle Staub in the house. We got a special guest. I've known this man for, I don't know, I've known him for a minute. And I mean, the very first time we met was in a tattoo shop, and it's just kind of evolved from there. We've been hanging, been at concerts. You know, we had the Bomb Shelter Boys when things were going down. We still keep that chat on. But I mean, you're fairly social media strong, but I still think there's more to Kyle than kind of you put on social media, because again, you got to worry about what you're putting, if it's for your viewers, for your fans, for your family. You're a man of many hats. I mean, and I want to kind of see what those hats look like. So Kyle, welcome to this interview, and thank you very much for taking your time on this very busy time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it, man. I've been wanting to do it for a minute, so, you know, let's get into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with that social media and stuff, you know, everything is thought processed. And my biggest one right now is, like, because I'm in a different space. I used to think, like, where I just want to put out content and create. Now it's all measured. Now that I'm a parent, now that I'm, you know, a husband, it's measured. I don't want to, like, look badly on my family or any of my friends. You know, I don't want to separate myself from anybody with some weird opinions or just things that you fly right off the top with, what you might not necessarily mean or want to be attached to later. Everything's digital. It's all attached now, right? So.
And yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing too. Is like, even when, like, my social media and I'm talking to others, I'm like, it's almost that you have to think of your most sensitive audience, where, yeah, you know, it's the same thing where, you know, at the beginning of social media, you were scared to post this, but then your filter gets a little diluted, and then you push it, and then you look back, and then, you know, I always try to say, you know, think of your most sensitive audience, because that's an untapped, where if you go too far, they're not going to support you, then that could come back at you. So, I mean, how do you balance that, where you said, you know, you're a husband, you're a dad of two, you're like an entrepreneur, hustler, a tattoo artist, where you've been tattooing for how long now?
Now it's been about 13 years. And yeah, it's the focus at first was really like, be edgy, separate yourself, like show them a lot of yourself. And I should definitely do more of that. Kurt, hey baby, I should be doing more of that. But it becomes, like I said, more measured. You don't let everybody into everything, you know. Yeah, you can't let everybody into everything. Back in the day, it used to be really just like hell on wheels, you know? You want to show, you know, just the craziness. I remember when I came up into this, and like I looked at people that, this might be lost in some of your viewership, but Brandon Bond is an old school tattooer out of Atlanta, Georgia, and he was really popping in the 90s, early 2000s. And the guy was all about machine guns and whiskey and setting stuff on fire. And we were like, yeah. We came up in Jackass and all that. So that's the way you really want to, like, that's how we were pumping it when I was kids. We were skateboarding, we were doing graffiti. We were really edgy. We're on that. You know? Now it's like, I'm viewing that from the back. You know, yeah. I'm kind of watching it, enjoying it now. Not so much need to be a part of it. You know, I still like to draw influence from it, and I still like to give back to it too. But when it comes down to me personally now, definitely everything's more measured, and everything is, yeah, you're watching out for that more sensitive side of the viewership, or what, you know, your followership, pretty much. You know, I don't know if it's a good thing or not that you're censoring yourself, you're not letting it out. Like, some of me, like, screams daily, like, I want to just say what I feel.
Yeah.
But most of the time when I reflect on that a couple weeks later, I'm like, that was momentary, and I'm probably glad I'm not going to be judged on that for the next, you know, 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. And I even remember the very first tattoo shop I ever been in, and oh boy, what was that? The fact that I got to say 19, it's been a while. I think it was 1998 was my very first tattoo. And I remember when I first walked into the shop, because you have this thought of what every tattoo is going to be full of bikers and scary, and, you know, and then when I walked into this first tattoo shop, I was pretty intimidated. I was sweating before. And then it's neat, we're now looking at where your tattoo shop is. Again, when you walk in, you know it's a tattoo shop, but that intimidation factor isn't there. Wow. And it's so calm and cool. And then, is that kind of what you're trying to do, is break a stigma, or is you're just trying to, part of your business is, you know, part of you is into your business? So what was your big motivation behind that change of scary biker tattoo shops to where you are now to Honor Bound?
I think I saw real early on records, and I started in that, like, scary biker tattoo shops and coming out of those. And I saw really early on, there's a ceiling. and that you're playing to a very small demographic. And it's not necessarily a demographic that you're going to align with through your whole life, you know? So with that being said, Honor Bound is, trying to be more doors open. We try and be more knowledge forward. We try and, it's not a cash grab, and if it were, we'd be running it a lot different. We've cultivated a group of artists that is more of like a community, and when you come in, you can feel that community right away. You can feel that, your kids are welcome to come in. You're not going to be, you're going to be greeted with a hello. You can even just tell by when you call my shop, the way people will answer and just the greetings, and we always get back to you. We really respect the people we're dealing with, and we really respect what we're doing. And we don't want it seem to be lost on us that what we're doing is special, and it requires like soft handling, and I don't think you get that in those old biker shops. Something to be said for them though.
Yep.
The nostalgia, right?
Yeah, it was still cool, and I mean those I kind of admire, the scarier, not grungy, but the ones that kind of the biker look. It kind of lets kind of the feel of a tattoo shop, and then it's nice where I'm like, okay, you go to Honor Bound that has a neat art, you have an open concept, and I mean, if I saw some of the guys in an alley, they still have that edge, but then they're still super, super nice guys, right? Like they're super nice guys, where I think it's the same thing too, where, you hear Kyle's a tattoo artist. Oh, hey, here's my buddy Kyle that tattoos. They have this kind of stigma. But if I had to say who you are, because I've known you for a while now, it's almost like you have tattoo Kyle, then you have like home and life Kyle, and there's that nice line of separation between the two. Is that something that naturally came to you, or all of a sudden you're like, okay, maybe I'm taking some of my work home with me, or maybe my work's taking too much, I got to save some for my wife and 2 kids and my own time? Like, was it something that you just naturally did or had to work on?
No, it was something that I've always been fractured like that. Like, when I was growing up doing graffiti and being my most crazy self, I also, what I was doing for a job, I'm wearing a suit and tie every day. So, I mean, you're running around spray painting and busting bottles at night. And then during the day, you're waking up at the crack of dawn and you're going and hustling and you're doing that sales thing and you got the hair combed and you're looking like, Yep. So that dichotomy has always been like present. And I don't know which one feeds which. I guess they kind of just back into each other, but I like a separation. I don't think I like to live like in the same place at all times. I like to be able to escape, refresh with something different, and come back inspired. Too much out of one well.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
And to get back to what we were talking about, those biker shops and those more hardcore shops and aggressive shops, there's a place for that. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I got some cool tattoos from some aggressive dudes that I would still drink beers with to this day, man. And they're some of my favorites. Some of my favorite experiences have happened in those crazy shops. Ours is just a little bit more, I don't know, friendly.
Well, yeah, because I mean, my very first tattoo was from Paul Jeffries, and I was, and I knew who he was, but I didn't know who he was. And then when you start showing people, like, oh wow, so I didn't know my very fast tattoo. People are like, oh shit, you're even lucky to get a tattoo by him. Yeah. And again, when I first saw him, I'm like, oh, this guy's not. And then as soon as he started talking, and he's with my first tattoo, and he's like, don't worry about it, I'll do a test line. And then he was super calm, and then I relaxed, and he goes, okay, now we're going to do it for real. And then wham, and then he hit me with it. But it was neat where he was face up. I thought the guy was going to give me like a piece of leather to bite on and say, let's go through it. And then he kind of talked me down. He's like, let's calm down. I'll give you an idea. Because I was sweating.
Yeah, right.
The sheets, my shirt and everything, and my body, I could feel my heart rate pumping. So it was an experience versus, I mean, all tattoos hurt. And I mean, I've cussed you out enough.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
Now, Kyle, I got a little question for you. So, when you were a B-boy, I don't know how many people know that you got them moves. And I know you still try it out once in a while, but...
Yeah, once in a while.
So when, and what was that? You got to travel across Canada and you competed and everything? Like, what was that whole story?
Oh, we had a crew that was born out of kind of a church outreach thing, and they were looking for people, and they put a crew together, me, myself, and a couple friends, and yeah, we started traveling around doing shows, competitions, events. Say you wanted to, the St. Peters have their Christmas party, we come through and we do the entertainment and stuff like that. It was really cool, man. I got to see some stuff. I got to mentor a lot of kids that came up the same way I did, which was really cool. I ran into some kids around the age where they think that's cool. It's like 12 to 16, really, and it's a very impressionable age. So I got a chance to really connect with a bunch of them, which pulled me out of a dark place. And it helped me even to this day. So, I mean, I got to give it up. Plus, I love dancing, man. Who doesn't really?
I mean, everybody does it, whether they admit it or whether it's seen. Everybody does it.
100%.
How often do you break it out every once in a while to do a system check to say, you know what, do I still got it?
Oh, yeah. Like, well, how often do I hurt myself then? I keep it probably. Like, I'll just start messing around or walking around in handstands and doing stuff like that all the time. When I'm thinking, even like, I'll just be standing there and I'll like be working something, or I'll sit on the floor with my kids. Now that's what it is, right? Like all that stuff you had in youth, all your skateboarding and all that, and all the breakdance, all that. Now it's come back and show the kids their interest. They see on TV. It's like, okay, daddy knows. Hey, let me show you what's up. Can't wait for they get a little bit older, then we'll really show them what's up and battling them in the street.
Oh man, there's going to be a battle down for sure. I mean, it's only a matter of time till one of your kids challenge you to a battle. And
that's, I mean, and I'm holding on to any of this stuff, bro.
What was kind of your style? Like, were you a pop and locker, or what was your kind of
full on power moves, like all that, like flares and like windmills and head spins and halos and all that. It wasn't as crazy as it is now. Like you see these guys, like they're just busting out like one-handed halos or flares and like crazy. Like I know some of my boys, like even one of the guys I started breakdancing with, A+. He's still teaching out in Medicine Hat. He's still traveling world, but he's getting to the end of his career, and he's had an amazing one. But now his son, who is 7 years old or six years old, is a killer, legit. And I mean, this kid is better than I ever was at 6. And that's just what it is, right? Passing it down, paying it forward. That's what we do, right? So,
I think that's kind of with everything where. And I, mentioned on tattooing as well, even the fitness industry, like where it was when I started 20 some odd years ago versus what it is now. Like there hasn't been a big jump in technology, but it's more, the information is more widely known versus if you kind of look at, where any sport, whether it be golf, hockey, even what you're looking on BMX or mountain bike guys or at the Red Bull games and stuff like that and extreme games, they're pulling off some serious moves. And it's just evolved so fast that even if you're at the top of the game, you miss a year or 2 years or 6 months, it's a game of catch up.
Oh yeah.
And do you find that too in kind of like the tattoo industry where it's not necessarily not the guns or the equipment have changed, but people's skills and how they're able to make different layers and stuff? Is it something that I'm going to ask you right flat out, do you consider yourself as a pioneer and a leader or no?
No. I mean, I just like a pioneer, not at all, because it's been around way, way before me. Like we're going way back 100 years and further than that, even like modern tattooing. But I mean, like, I don't know, maybe a leader in the sense that I'm trying to bring people up in this the right way. In my shop, we have mentorship programs. We bring apprentices up. We build people from scratch and turn out artists. But I mean, that comes with a huge price, a lot of sacrifice. There's a friendship first and all that stuff. Just the day-to-day, the idea is to show the art the respect that it deserves. Just like what you do. I'm amazed with what has happened in the last, like if you look at tattooing in the last 40 years. 40 years ago, you're getting those biker stamps and all of the trash. Now you can get, a reproduction of a master's work. You could have a Rembrandt. You could have, you could have a Salvador Dali. You could have, you could kick forward and you could have a fly-ass graffiti piece from King Cope. You could, it just wasn't possible. And I mean, the machines are sure a little bit better. Some of these guys are still using the same machines we used back in the 90s and 2000s. They're just tuned a little differently and creating the most amazing things. So, I mean, it is one of those things, if you fell out of it for a few years, like, yeah, man, watching. Every time I open my Instagram, there's another dude from somewhere weird in Russia that you've never heard of. That's just pop, you know. So, you know, we're really lucky here in Alberta. We have a ton of people. The pulse is really strong for tattooing. So, I mean, there's a huge group. We try and motivate each other. Like, I remember when I first started getting into this, a lot of shops wouldn't talk. People didn't intermingle and things like that. It was kind of like faux pas to talk with other shops, to go to conventions, to like hang out with other people from other locations. Now it's like, you know, instead of painting parties where other shops come down, you'll go like to get spots at another shop in your same city. You know, why not? You know, so a lot of things have changed. It's all for the better too.
And yeah, it's kind of neat. And like I'm finding where you have most entrepreneurs, you do your time in the business, and then of course you do time working on the business. And that takes a lot of time where, you know, you're drawing, getting ready for the next person, or, you know, people are getting ready for the next lesson. So the time you spend on your main work where you get paid, there's still a lot of homework with it, late nights. But my question for you is, how do you keep that balance, or what else do you do besides tattooing to help keep your mind strong? Or let's say if you're looking for that inspiration, is there something that you do that helps sparks it, or something that you don't do that you're like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to sit in a dark room, play some music, and then just let my mind, like, is there something that you do to spark it, or you're a workout guy? What is it?
Well, you know, I mean, because we're friends, it's like, I'm kind of like you. I've got no shortage of hobbies. So, I mean, my garage is filled with anything. I can draw inspiration for just going for a skate. I could go shooting. I could go spray painting. I could sit here and paint oil. Lately, the things that I've been doing, and I mean, hang out with my family too. Don't let me forget. See this. But lately, I've been doing boxing and oil painting. So it seems like one thing that's really aggressive and really heavy, and the other that's really light, because like I said, my life is very dichotic. So on certain days, I need certain things. I can't just, on a certain day, it's like, okay, I don't need to let out aggression. I don't need to be like hitting. I need to be soft today. I need to process some things. Okay, those are the days we're going to paint. Those are the measured. Those are, you know, everything's just soft and low. And then there are the days where you got to be a beast man, and that's the gym, that's the punching, that's everything.
Feed those demons. Feed those demons. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, you got me on this path like maybe like 3.5, 4 years ago. I had only just worked out when I did like sports in high school and stuff like that. And I got fat and I got lazy, and tattooing started really breaking down my body, hurting my back, hurt my hands, hurt my neck. Everything was bad, man. And then I started hanging out with you and started getting here. I started really paying attention, and you know, we started doing some training together, and that's what
that
really
damn Murphy. Oof.
Yeah, that Murph challenge, you know, like trash. Still
that was something. That was something.
Fuck, man. That'll get you going, right? Like that'll get you going. And I never look back. And I think now it's like I don't have back pain. I don't have, you know, I've started eating. Like, and one thing dominoed the others. And like physical activity and just being fit is so slept on. And people will even hate on it. Be like, oh yeah, these guys are just gym rats, or these, oh yeah, lift it up and put it down or whatever. It's like, you don't do that, you're missing something. Like as a human being, if you're not active, you are not sparking the things up here. You're not moving the chemicals in your body. Man, I couldn't do it. So that's it. To answer your question, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff that I'm always constantly in. I'm always keeping my hands busy, and those are the two main things right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like somebody was asking, you know, how did I come up with the company name Dominate? And I was just sitting there, and I was like, I was on my deck. I was sipping on some scotch. You know, it was a sunny day. I was just chilling. And then I'm like, started writing words down, and boom, it came out of absolutely nowhere. And that's where, you know, it's, you know, as an entrepreneur, and whether or not you're in tattooing, or whether you're in fitness, or whether you're into trade, commodities and stuff like that, I believe that there's a common path that entrepreneurs and business people kind of take. Yeah, there's going to be variance because of your clientele and the skill set needed. So if a guy was coming up to you and saying, you know, Kyle, as an entrepreneur, if you had to give me one tip on making it past that hump where, you know, you have that, I'm not going to make it, I'm not making it, maybe, someone just messaged me without advertising, and then it takes off. But that first steep incline is legit. It is serious. So if somebody had to say, Kyle, what is there one thing that I can take away on being an entrepreneur, of pushing past that one hump of I'm never going to make it, what would that kind of be?
Ham tastes like chicken, man. We used to have a sign in one of my first shops, and it was our golden calf, and they had a bunch of rules, always keep the music playing hot, blah, 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 and then down at the very bottom is just remember, ham tastes like chicken. It's basically saying like, you're gonna be poor for a long time, so just don't even worry about it, Mom. And while you're not worrying about it, all you're doing is feeding into that business, and you're just building that monster, and you're just building and building, and then one day you're gonna look back, and you're gonna be like, holy shit. And and to everybody else, it's gonna look like just an island floating out, but you're gonna know about the iceberg. You're gonna know about all the stuff that built that, all the disappointments, all the times you heard no, that's what people don't see. That's the stuff below. Like I said, 13 years even, and I've been working with Honor Bound for the last 7, and that's with my partner Andrew Graham, and I have an amazing team, and all those guys feeding, but I couldn't do it without them. That's all a big part of it. Like, you need to have the right people in place, everything. Just work, constant grinding. That's what'll get you there. Treating people right and doing that. Like I said, my team is amazing. Katie Comer, front end, is absolutely crazy. She's the best.
Oh, super nice. Amazingly nice.
Mm-hmm. In between myself and my partner, we then have somebody to help us run the operations day to day, and then he's really good, like numbers wise, and I'm very good people wise. You don't want to stretch yourself too thin. You want to, because if you do, then you can't do what you love. Like with
exactly. Yep.
If you're stressed out, you can't be in there giving what you need to give to your clients. I'll be happy.
100%.
100%. 100%. I agree with you. Yeah, for sure.
And did you have a b-boy name?
Yeah. Shakespeare.
Yeah. Wow. Oh man, that is what I'm talking about. That was a bomb out of left field. Shakespeare.
Oh man, wow. Some Nardwuar stuff, man. Know some stuff about me, yeah.
All right. Wow. Might I, do you want to recite some? How do you come up with Shakespeare?
This guy Tim put it on me. Most you never give yourself a name and stuff. So he was just I don't know if it was the way I was moving or anything like that. He said it was poetic or whatever. I don't know. It's probably something like that, or maybe it was. Maybe it was just me. But either way, wow. I rocked that for a while, and that was probably the main
one. But speaking of Shakespeare and having many different hats, what we do here, the part 2 is we're going to have a little trivia. Nice. And I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and then after 3 questions, based on whether you get it right or wrong, we'll decide on the prize. And then at the end, I have one final question for you, and then we're going to wrap this up. So let's get on to the trivia side of it. And it's
about Shakespeare.
No. Here comes the trivia.
All right.
Music kicks in. Ooh. All right, Kyle. We interrupt this program due to technical difficulties. While we're working on a solution, please go to www.dominate.ca to order your spice trio. Whether you're a one-pan wonder or a master chef, our spice range will ensure all plates are left empty and palates left satisfied. We are proud to announce we have now found the solution and will continue with our regular scheduled program. Are we back?
We're back. That's you.
All right, we're back. Okay, so the original question, and we're going to recap it. So the question to you, Kyle, was, how many sides to a tetradecagon? You said 10, where a decathlon is 10 events in track and field. So deca does mean 10, but a tetradecagon is 14 sides. So that's a meh.
So tetra is a juice box and deca is 10. I don't know.
Second question. A dingo is a baby kangaroo, an Australian dog, or a stray cat in Australia?
An Australian dog.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we got one.
I hear they eat babies.
Maybe the dingo got you, baby.
Only knows it because of The Simpsons.
Right. Now, Kyle, this next one is going to be and name that tune. So I'm going to play 5 seconds of it.
All right.
And then when I push stop, you have to name it. You have 5 seconds to name it after I stop the music.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
You know, I listen to like one genre.
Boy, I hope you get this right. If not, I might have to take you off Instagram for 24-hour cleansing.
We play this game at the shop all the time. The guys like to ask me everything. Kyle, who's this? I don't know.
So for the third question, Kyle, who's this? I will. I'll wait to see if you get it wrong to see if I'm going to be nice.
I already pre-guessed this. It's Bon Jovi?
No. And here we go. Here we go.
And you don't know me yet.
Who was that, Kyle?
It sounds like Public Enemy.
No, very close. Very close. Big Daddy Kane, enough respect, from the original motion picture, Juice.
Damn, man. That's one. I should have had that one.
You should have had that one. I even tried to pick one because I didn't. I'm like, I'm not going to rely on Kyle to get those first two. But that I for sure thought was a home run.
Guy, what's he know about dingoes? Dingoes. So much for hip hop. This guy just knows about Australian dogs. No math, no hip hop, nothing.
A b-boy that but I'm not going to piece it all together. I mean, it's an off day. It's an off day.
I told you, I'm an artist. I'm not
So this card here on the back of it, Spice Trio. So you can win a Spice Trio.
Yeah.
On the back of this card here is a $50 gift certificate to Skip the Dishes. So if you win this, we'll give you your $50 gift certificate. Or if you pick this one, and they're all different ones on the back, the camera just doesn't pick it up, you will send a care package, a surprise pack to your #1 favorite fan. They will receive a $100 gift certificate toward a full day at Honor Bound Tattoos with you. They will get a Dominate Surprise Pack, and they will also get the Dominate Spice Trio sent to them.
Ooh.
So you
That's
have
spicy.
one pick. Now, let me hold this up here. So the middle one, inside or outside, you pick.
Let's go that guy right there.
This guy here?
Yep, there you go. Cool enough.
No camera tricks.
Let's give someone a tattoo.
Oh, you won the Dominate Spice Trio. So we'll be firing that off to you. Job well done. There it is. And that was, not bad. One of the three, you got the spices, so we'll get that shipped out to you. Thank heavens we're only half an hour apart, but it'll take 3 days to get it to you.
I'll be sure to Lysol it when it comes.
And that was my one question to you too. Like, if you had to pick one, like a favorite person where you're like, hey, you know what? That guy was an amazing tattoo. He's always been trying to get in. He's waiting to get in. Or if there's someone that stands out, who would you like to give a shout out and thanks to?
You know what? I'll give a shout out to my boy, Ian McLean. He's been around for a long time. The boy's damn near a bodysuit, all from me. He's been around since I did his first, and over a decade now. So what up, Ian?
Nice. Ian, man, you got the shout out, you got the props. Anyone else that you want to thank, Kyle?
You know what? I just want to thank Katie Calm, actually, because she actually just left us, and she's moved on to bigger and brighter things. We always knew what she was shooting for, and she has finally attained her goals. So she's no longer working with us at Honor Bound Tattoos, but she's moving up and on, and we're so happy for her. Always.
All right. Once again, thank you very much, Kyle. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode of the Dominate News Drop.